Trustees regular meeting to order. Molly, would you like to do a roll call first?
Yes. Miss Allen?
Here.
Miss Clemens?
Here.
Mr. Hendon?
Guess he's not here. I think he's here. He might just be in there. Is he on mute? Yeah.
Okay, I'll go, and if he comes, if he hops on, then we'll get him. Miss Conan?
Here.
Mrs. Lamacchia?
Here.
Miss Redden?
Here.
Thank you.
All right, we do have public comment, and I'll just go over our policy for that public comment. We welcome public input in our deliberations, and we want the community to be able to express their views on matters of interest. We do have a policy which includes a general 3-minute limit on comments, and we do have the ability to request a level of civility and decorum in these comments. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you a public comment that we received. If I can find it here. And it's a very nice comment, so when I have it.
Monica, I think it's on the same form as the information I sent you.
Okay, and here it is. Thank you, Paula. This comment is from Leslie Kish, who is the Director of Strategic Partnerships, Cincinnati Works. And this comment is directed to David Siders. Just wanted to send you a quick note to let you know how much I appreciate our working relationship and our partnership with the library. I don't know how we would have made it through this pandemic without the support of you and the library. Wishing you a safe and happy holiday. Leslie Kish, Director of Strategic Partnerships, Cincinnati Works. So very nice comment for David. I think that concludes our public comments. We're going to go ahead and get into our reports. Paula first, if you will do the director's report, that would be great.
Certainly, thank you. I appreciate the time today to give some important information, kicking things off with the public library levies across Ohio. 94%, or 16 of our 17 Ohio library ballot issues were actually approved in this past November's general election. Successful library issues included 14 renewals, 1 additional, and 1 replacement levy. Important to note that the average voter approval rating was 66%. We do have a substantial legislative update here. As we look to 2021, a biennial budget year with a potential for significant impacts for the Public Library Fund, or PLF Fund, it's important to note that during the lame duck sessions at the State House, many pieces of legislation continue to receive committee hearings and move forward. I have a couple of bills to note, just to make everyone aware. HB 404, which extends the flexibility public boards currently have in conducting meetings electronically. So the provision in the bill will extend this temporary option until July of 2021. The bill contains an emergency clause, so it is effective immediately once it's signed with the governor, which should happen soon. So that will extend our ability to continue to meet in this virtual environment. HB 13, on which the Ohio Library Council submitted supporting testimony for the Broadband Expansion Grant Program, noting the importance of access to the internet in today's society and how libraries serve their communities in this capacity. HB 450, which had its second hearing to require fiscal officers of certain political divisions, which does include libraries, to provide certification of transition to their successors when leaving office. These these certificates of transition would be prescribed by the state auditor's office.
Did we have them before?
No, that's something new, and Molly's talked about it a little bit, and we are all set to do that, but I think they're trying to codify that to make sure that fiscal records are pretty consistent, no matter what. Molly, I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that, but.
I don't, but I think we are lucky that we have a deputy fiscal officer who can serve in the event that anything were to happen, as well as the way we have things documented. I think we're in pretty good shape.
Good going.
Thank you. Okay, I did want to make some other legislative news because both the Ohio Senate and the Ohio House Republican caucuses have selected their leadership teams for the upcoming General Assembly. So here listed on my report, you can see that the Senate's going to be led by State Senator Matt Huffman. State Senator Jay Hottinger will serve as President Pro Tem. Senator Kirk Schuring as Majority Floor Leader, and Senator Rob McCoy will serve as Majority Whip. The Ohio House Republicans announced their leadership team. We have Speaker Bob Cupp continuing in his current role, Representative Tim Gittler as Speaker Pro Tem. Locally, we do have Representative Bill Seitz as Majority Floor Leader, and Representative Rick Carfagna as Assistant Majority Floor Leader, Representative Doug Jones, Majority Whip, and another local representative, Representative Cindy Abrams as Assistant Majority Whip. Likewise, the Ohio Senate and House Democratic caucuses have chosen their leadership. This includes the re-election of Senator Kenny Yoko as Minority Leader, Senator Cecil Thomas, another local person here among the folks, as Assistant Minority Leader, while Senators Nikki Antonio and Tina, I'm going to say Tina's last name wrong, Mahartha, become Minority Whip and Assistant Minority Whip. So just noting that we have some impressive leadership locally that will be at the State House in this important upcoming year. Since the election, important to note that Government Relations Coordinator Elaine Fay has helped me reach out to new and returning elected officials, congratulate them, and to provide some basic information about the work that we've been doing and continue to do to support the community. To continue to raise awareness about the many ways the library serves the community, Elaine has sent weekly email updates to elected officials. In addition to this communication, our library branch has received posters that featured elected officials in their districts. These were actually made from photos taken in March at the legislative breakfast, where 6 of the 10 delegates to the Ohio General Assembly did attend. Making some note there. And I do want to give a quick pandemic operations update. This year has presented many unexpected and once-in-a-lifetime challenges for operating a public library. I'll be presenting our 2020 highlights at the board meeting in February, but I wanted to take this opportunity to thank our community, our staff, and all of you, our board of trustees, for your patience and support in navigating this year. I also want to again thank our state legislators who recognize the challenges we face during these difficult times and dedicated substantial CARES funds to support pandemic preparedness, specifically for public libraries. It has not been easy, and we continue to adapt and evolve as needed to ensure we are here to serve our public, always keeping in mind well-being of our staff and our community members. We've seen our staff handle reduced hours, furloughs, and even layoffs. At this time last year, we had no idea what 2020 had in store for us, and I really look forward to 2021 with hope for a vaccine and a bright future. So happy New Year to everyone. I'll end up my report with the bylaws. The bylaws for the Board of Trustees has actually been updated to reflect the new name for our library. We went from the Public Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County to Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Libraries. That is
Do I need to move?
yeah, that's in the bylaws. And
I'll move to accept it.
absolutely.
We need a second, somebody.
Second, Nadine.
I'll second it.
Miss Allen?
Molly, would you like to do it? Thank you.
Yeah, Miss Allen?
Yes.
Miss Clemens?
Aye.
Mr. Hendon? There you
Aye.
Thank you. Miss Conant?
Could you hear me?
Aye.
Yes, we did hear you.
Good.
Mrs. Lamacchia?
Yes.
Miss Redden?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Molly. We're going to go ahead now and move into the Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committee report. Bob, if you'd like to take that, and you may want to go ahead and summarize some of that report, particularly with respect to the public bid items, since since those items will be public record. Just wanted to give you that option because I know it's quite a long report today.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. The Facilities and Finance Audit Committee met virtually on November 24th, 2020. Committee Chair Robert Hendon, committee members Nadine Allen and Diane Cunningham-Redden, along with board president Monica Dothan-Conan, were in attendance. Staff members Paula Bremheger and Molly DeFossi were also in attendance. There's a recommendation of the committee that the board take the following action. As far as the Price Hill Branch project update, confirm the following approved change orders. I'm not going to read the change orders. As construction has continued and the weather has become colder, the scheduling deadlines have become tighter and more critical. The general trades contractor, Johnston Construction, has fallen behind and has missed important milestones. Library staff, along with Messer, have been working closely to resolve the issue. At the beginning of November, the library sent a 10-day notice to Johnston Construction in accordance with our contract. This will provide the library with the opportunity to take necessary steps to make sure the project proceeds. Did we get any result from that?
Yes, we are making good progress.
Okay.
Thank you.
Exterior site work is continuing, interior work is underway. The goal owner occupancy is targeted first quarter of 2021. This keeps moving back. At the Walnut Hills Branch project update, approve the GMP not to exceed cost of construction of $8,914,751. Any reduction will be the result of value engineering, and approve authorization for the Eva Jane Remain CUM director to enter into a contract with Megan Construction. At the October meeting, the board authorized the Eva Jane Moon director to enter into a contract with Megan Construction as long as the submitted GMP was equal to or less than the budget. In spite of all pricing estimates during the process indicated the GMP will be within the established construction budget, inclusive of the general conditions of $8,365,000. The final cost of construction and general conditions came in at $8,914,751. The comprehensive GMP detailed as follows. I'm not going to read the comprehensive GMP. The complete owner budget of $12,300,000 was established during the facilities master plan based on a square footage of 19,400 square feet. The building is slightly over 22,000 square feet. However, the overall owner budget, including the construction budget, can be maintained in spite of the increase in the GMP. All right, the Deer Park Branch lease build out. Authorize the following bid advertisement for the Deer Park Branch renovation and authorize the Eva Jane Remain CUM director to review the bids with the chair of the Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committee and enter a contract with the lowest responsible bidder. All right, and there's the advertisement for bids, which I'm not going to go through.
Request for qualifications.
All right, we were very excited about the new Deer Park branch. The branch will include central marketplace with main service point and flexible welcoming space, efficient mechanical systems, expansive children's area with adjacent messy meeting room, including roll-up garage doors and stroller parking. Every time I see messy meeting room, I get a chuckle.
I do too. Sounds like my kind of place.
Yep, adult area with adjacent quiet room with 20-seat capacity, separate teen and tween areas equipped with long lounge and gaming space, public computer workstations located in different areas, large community room with 100-seat capacity, study pods located throughout the accommodate 2 to 4 people each, highly functional staff area with access to the loading dock. All right, now we have the annual request for qualifications. This authorized publication of the following notice in order to establish a list of annual statements of qualifications from the 3 types of professional service firms in order to hire an architect, surveyor, or engineer for a project with professional service fees of less than $50,000. All right, and then there's the request for their proposals. I'm not going to go through that. Okay, there's revision of permanent fund principal balances, approved revision of the permanent trust fund principal amounts based on donations received in 2020. ABEL principal $101,247. 2020 donations $1,970. So the principal is $103,217. King principal $24,120. Donations $1,500. Principal $25,620.
Yeah. He was a good friend.
All right, now moving on, the CARES Act grant fund. Excuse me. Approve the expanded use of a CARES Act grant fund to account for recently awarded CARES Act grant funding from Hamilton County for the purchase of supporting Wi-Fi hotspots. Now, the revision of the 2020 estimated resources and annual appropriations. You want to go through that?
Do you want me to do it? I can do it. That's fine.
Yeah, please go through
Okay.
that.
So we are requesting approval for the following revisions. The first one is for the CARES Act grant fund to increase the revenue and other sources intergovernmental federal revenue of $13,135.62, and then increase corresponding expenses in purchased and contracted services by the same $13,135.62. We are requesting confirmation for the following revision to the account for a change required at the end of October, also in the CARES Act grant fund, to decrease supplies by $70,000 and increase capital outlay by $70,000. And this change is required to account for actual spending and encumbrances through October of 2020. And then to wrap up the fund, we're requesting approval of a revision to the same fund, a decrease in supplies of $83,129.36, and then increase capital outlay by the same $83,129.36.
Okay. Now, the 2020 annual appropriations, authorized revision of general fund and the CARES Act grant fund appropriations is needed from now until the end of the year in order to close out funds by 2020. Any revisions made will be reported to the board in February. 2020 unencumbered balance, prove that all unencumbered funds be carried forward to the general fund at 12/31/2020 in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code section 3375.440L. States that a board of library trustees may at the end of the fiscal year, unless doing so would be contrary to law, set aside any encumbered surplus remaining in the general or any other funding for free public library under this jurisdiction for any purpose, including creating or increasing a special building or repair fund and for operating a library or acquiring equipment and supplies. We're anticipating an unencumbered balance of approximately $20,500,000 carried forward to 2021. This includes an operating contingency of $1,750,000, representing the allowable 3% of the budget, and approximately $18.75 million available for operations in 2021. which equates to slightly more than the 3 months operating expenses, but also will offset the known PLF shortfall in 2021. All right, we need to approve those recommendations. I move that we do that.
Second, Nadine.
Molly, would you do a roll call, please?
Yes. Miss Allen,
Yes.
Miss Clemens,
Ms. Clemens,
Karen, I think you're on mute.
I took it off mute. Can you hear me
yep.
yeah,
Yes.
now? Oh, aye.
Okay, Mr. Hendon,
Yes.
Miss Conan,
Aye.
Mrs. Lamacchia,
yes,
Miss Redden.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, good. All right, the main library project, design progress. Design work for the elevator replacement is almost complete. The library plans to reduce the number of elevators in the original 1950s building based on studies completed by the elevator specialists. These elevators are not necessary to move the public through the building. The elevator that will be maintained will primarily be used by staff as the only elevator that can access the A stack area. The shafts that will not be used will provide an opportunity to relocate plumbing pipes that need replacement. In addition, reducing the elevators will also create savings in the overall project budget. The GMP for the elevator replacement is anticipated in early 2021, with construction beginning in June 2021 and completed expected in early 2022. The skylight replacement design is ongoing. The relationship with the skylight and other interior changes being coordinated. The GMP for the skylight is expected in the summer of 2021, with construction beginning in August 2021 and completed in early 2022. Planning concepts. The Vine Street Plaza investigation is almost complete. Based on the results of the investigation, need some more gin. We'll work with the design team and the construction manager to develop design concepts with plans of community engagement in 2021. The strategy and operations areas are also working to develop services concepts, which are a major consideration for all the design options. The facility master plan and planning for 2021. FMP status of capital projects. We have made excellent progress the first full year of the FMP and through the second year and of the additional levy funding. The first several projects of the FMP were identified prior to completion of the plan and shortly after the levy passed in 2018. These projects include Price Hill Branch, Walnut Hills Branch, and Madisonville Branch. Long deferred energy retrofit project also was started. For 2021, we plan to continue with the projects at the main library. In 2020, we allocated $5 million of funding for these projects. In 2021, we plan to allocate $8.3 million. And in 2022, we plan to complete the main library project funding with an allocation of $7 million. Forest Park Branch relocation replacement is included in the FMP for 2023 and 2024. We have had several meetings with the city leaders of Forest Park regarding being part of a larger development on a parcel across the street from the library, which would include repurposing of our current building. First step is to determine feasibility of such a project and a site assessment of the proposed property, which is currently underway. There may be reasons to move this project up in the FMP process, and we are also looking at other options. All right, life cycle replacement, including branch refresh and furniture replacement. The Corville branch needs extensive waterproofing. The library has been working with THP for the last several months to identify the appropriate course of action. Under completion of the waterproofing, the branch will require interior renovations. The branch meeting room is lower level, serves as a primary meeting space for many internal staff, training, and meeting events because of the accessibility and adjacent parking. With the proximity of the newly expanded Walnut Hills branch, customer use patterns, and unique features that the building offers, the planning renovations provide the opportunity to consider the best future use of the building for the library. In 2021, we'll begin work on the Anderson branch refresh, as well as donor-funded work in the Marymount branch. In addition, the library will continue with the goal of expanding the use of outdoor space. In order to keep projects on track and not be limited by the timing of board meetings, we're requesting blanket authorization for the calendar year 2021 for the Eva Jane Remain Coombe Director to publish bid requests and enter into our agreements with the lowest possible bidders for projects with a construction estimate of less than $1,500,000. That will involve design professionals and fees of less than $50,000. All bids were reviewed by the chair of the Facilities Finance and Audit Committee, and we reported to the board meeting. Almost done. Madisonville Branch, the library plans to sign the lease for the new space in the next 2 weeks. The current delivery for the library to access the space to begin interior construction is December 2021. We'll begin design in early 2021. We plan to work with GBBN, who was selected as a design professional for the FMP leasehold improvements. We're evaluating the options of delivery method for construction of the project. Needlepoint bipolar ionization project. At the October 2020 meeting, the board waived public bidding based on urgent necessity as permitted by ORC 3375.41 to install needlepoint bipolar ionization as selected library-owned facilities, and authorize the Eva Jane Remain Director to enter into a contract based on solicitations by our design professionals. As a result of these solicitations, the library entered into agreements with the following. All right, basically the total cost is $624,994. The product has been installed at most of the library-owned locations, and work is completed and expected to be completed by mid-December. And that concludes my report.
Excuse me for 1 second. I realized I made an error, and that piece about authorizing the blanket authorization for the 1.5 million in projects and 50,000 does need a vote. So if I could just have a motion and a second, and then all in favor.
Diane will make a motion to accept.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And if I
Thank you,
can
Molly.
just do one additional thing, we did sign the Madisonville lease just yesterday. So that has since been signed. I want to make sure you knew that it was late.
In the new building,
Yeah,
that they haven't started yet.
right, exactly. Exactly. Okay, thanks, Monica. Sorry about that.
Fantastic.
No, thanks, Paula. Good update. All right, Nadine, if you will handle the Human Resources Committee report, and
Yes.
I think it's we can also dispense with having to read the entire policy, so
Correct.
that helps you when you're delivering your report.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is the Human Resources Committee. Nadine Allen, Chair, Betsy Lamacchia, Vice President, and Karen Clemens, Secretary. The Human Resources Committee met virtually on December 2nd. Committee Chair Nadine Allen and committee members Elizabeth Lamacchia and Karen Clemens, as well as Board President Monica Conan and Diane Redden were in attendance. Staff members Paula Bramheger, Holbrook Sample, and Kyla Hardin were also in attendance. It is the recommendation of the committee that the board take the following action. New policy and policy updates. Approve the policy, the poll work policy, employment policy, and holiday policy as follows. A goal for 2020 has been to review and revise outdated policies, in an effort to ensure that they are clear, concise, and reflect the current practices of the library. We request approval of the attached policy updates and changes. The new policies are attached as follows: poll work policy Exhibit A, employment policy Exhibit B, holiday policy Exhibit D. Did you say that I would skip reading the actual policies?
Yes, I think that's
Okay.
fine. That they will be public record.
Okay, so the poll work policy and the employment policy and the holiday policy are all attached. I do believe they do need to be voted on for acceptance. I don't know if we can do that. So I'll ask for the move that we adopt those policies.
Second, this is,
Okay. Ms.
Molly, will you
Allen?
take the roll call, please?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ms. Allen,
Aye.
Ms. Clemens,
Aye.
Mr. Hendon,
Aye.
Ms. Conan,
Aye.
Mrs. Lamakia,
Aye.
Ms. Redden.
aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving along to the Eva Jane Romaine Coombe Director Review Process. In an effort to review the past year's performance of the Eva Jane Romaine Coombe Director as it pertains to initiatives as well as core competencies that lead to fulfilling the mission and vision of the library, and establish formal review process of the director facilitated by the Board of Trustees will be conducted. 2020 salary increases. Upon our current compensation plans, staff are eligible to receive pay increases based on their performance reviews, which are completed each year between February and March. On November 15th, 2020, the 2019 merit increases were reinstated for eligible staff after being paused due to budgetary concerns associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. Senior leadership also had their full pay reinstated on November 15th, 2020. We will evaluate the possibility of merit increases for the 2020 performance year in the second or third quarter of 2021 in hopes to approve percentage increases that are in line with past years. A merit increase for the Eva Jane Romaine Coombe Director will also be evaluated at that time. Furloughed staff vacancies in our public service positions continue to be posted and filled. At this time, of our 58 furloughed staff members, 33 have returned, 3 staff have retired, and 4 staff have resigned. Additionally, of our 106 furloughed staff who are 12 hours per week, 31 have returned and 9 have resigned. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. The library is continuing to work on our diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative with Human Resources Manager Michelle Matthews leading the staff planning team for this initiative. Listening sessions facilitated by Design Impact, a nonprofit social innovation firm that focuses on designing processes to address systemic inequities, have successfully concluded with strong staff participation. Phase 3 is now in process and will include a briefing from Design Impact to senior leadership around broad-based themes that have emerged from the listening sessions. Also beginning in Phase 3, Jennifer Ingram from Calibrated Lens will conduct an internal assessment to identify areas of opportunity to integrate changes to our policies, practices, and procedures with a DEI lens. My understanding is that we're going to get more information on how that is progressing in the future. Right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right, Nadine. We'll keep you updated on all of that important work as well.
United Way Community Shares campaign results. The annual campaigns ended October 30th. The final numbers received from United Way and Community Shares are United Way $15.91 and Community Shares $3,348. Staff recognition program held November 10th, 2020. The 8th annual staff recognition program was held on Tuesday, November the 10th. This year, service recognition pins were sent to all staff reaching a 5-year increment anniversary. It was announced that Steve France, videographer in the marketing department, earned the Rookie of the Year award. Joe and Noel Daner announced and congratulated the Impact Award winner and Bunny Daner prize recipient, Justin Rampa, customer experience manager in the strategy department. Staff tuned in from across the system via Microsoft Teams to celebrate those receiving recognition and those who were honored for their accomplishments. We are skipping the reading of Exhibits A and B. We've already approved those. I think that includes employment of minors, so I won't go over that either. And also we have adopted Exhibit D, which is the proposed holiday policy. Basically, we're adding Juneteenth. I believe that's the only change to that.
And we're also adding Martin Luther King Day as a closed holiday.
Okay, so those are the changes. Thank you. And then we're gonna skip Exhibit E because we've already adopted the other ones. And now, that concludes my report? I thought there was something else. All right, that looks like that concludes my report. Or am I not pulling it up? Is there more?
I think you got it, Nadine.
Man, I think that's it. All
Yep,
right.
I think you got it. All right. Molly, I don't think we need any other further roll call vote there. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on then to the, thank you, Nadine.
Yes.
Let's move on then to the Operations Committee report. Diane, can you deliver that report, please?
Yes, thanks, Monica. So operations report compiled by Brett Bonfield. Fines and fees. As its June 9, 2020 meeting, the board approved a recommendation that the library join many others nationally, in the state and regionally, in waiving the imposition of overdue fines until the end of the year and possibly beyond after assessment, especially during the pandemic and its associated economic consequences, and in keeping with the library's mission of connecting people to the world of ideas and information. It was determined that fines present a hardship to a significant portion of the library's customers, preventing them from borrowing books, movies, music, and other materials. The change did not eliminate all consequences for failure to return materials, and the library has continued billing for lost and damaged items. The ongoing pandemic means the library is not yet in a position to objectively analyze the impact of operating in this new environment. In order to gather additional information and in light of the overwhelmingly positive response this action has received from our customers, we recommend that we extend the changes enacted in June 2020 until at least July 2021, at which point we hope to have more robust data and more customer behavior, including the return rate of materials to assess and evaluate. Staff report that many customers who have been adversely affected by the pandemic, some with job loss or housing insecurity, have been relieved to know they are not being charged overdue fees, and the limited fee free copies have been extremely well received. Staff also report that quantitatively it feels as though many billed items are being returned. In the past, each item would have incurred a $10 maximum charge, placing a block on the customer's account, which for many customers made it seem pointless to return the item since they could not afford the fees associated with removing the block on their account. Customer service substitutes. The library is extending its staffing operations, implementing a model used by many of our peer libraries, a staff substitute pool. Over the next few months, we plan to hire at least 10 customer service substitutes. These new positions will be on call to help fill in gaps in the schedule and assist during emergencies. Anticipated benefits. The flexibility to adjust the size of the pool based on urgent usage and need. Opportunities for people who are interested in working for the library to develop skills and ensure their potential is evident. Another way to recruit diverse staff members in a wide range of scheduling needs and talents.
I asked a question about this one. I was curious about, it says customer service. Does that mean that that's all that they're basically doing is they're doing customer service? They aren't doing, because, and then it says, because you can use them in other places. I just wondered what does that entail, the customer service part? Is that
That's
phone
right.
calls? I mean, what is that?
Yeah, it's frontline service, so folks who are there for individuals coming in, but certainly phone calls as needed, all of that frontline face out service that we need people present and able to do. That's what our substitute pool is focusing on and what they'll be trained in as well.
That's great. I was just wondering what customer service might mean for the library. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
great.
I mean, all service, we have service as our primary job. You bring up a good point, Judge Allen, but certainly we're talking about direct customer service to our community when we reference it here.
Okay, thank you.
Monitor mentors. Following a model that was developed by the Cuyahoga County Public Library in January 2021, the library will begin hiring staff for a monitor mentor position. Try to say that 3 times. fast. These part-time staff members will be responsible for engaging with youth and adults in order to maintain a welcoming library environment with an emphasis on positive interactions. The monitor mentors will report to the branch manager and will work closely with both public safety and education and homework support in order to provide resources for teens and others who may benefit from guidance while also de-escalating potentially difficult situations. The initial postings will be for Avondale, College Hill, Madisonville, and Westwood, as well as the Price Hill branch when it reopens. Resource Navigator. Cornelius Chico Lockhart started consulting with the library's public safety team as a resource navigator on November 10th, working with community members and agencies to assess and address systematic issues and needs faced by vulnerable or at-risk individuals in and around the main library, and occasionally individuals in similar situations in and around other branches. Chico is focusing primarily on customers who are experiencing mental health, addiction, or homelessness and exclusion issues, and is providing them with information, support, referrals, and advocacy in order to assist them in making positive changes in their lives. He is also serving as a staff resource, supporting public safety and public service staff, and working with challenging customers and making the effective use of the standards of library behavior. Many staff members already know Chico from his work with Block by Block, where he has worked since 2007, including the last 2 as an outreach manager.
Thank you, Diane. I do think we need a roll call vote, Molly, for the extension of the
Yep.
fees and the fines.
Yep, I need a motion and a second.
This is Diane, I'll make the motion to accept.
I second Bob Hendon.
Okay. Miss Allen,
Aye.
Miss Clemens,
Aye.
Mr. Hendon,
Aye.
Miss Conan,
Aye.
Mrs. Lamacchia,
Aye.
Miss Redden.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Diane. So let's go now to the, we're going to do David now. David, is David going to be delivering the strategy report, or how are we going to do this?
I think Betsy will deliver the report and introduce him, and then we'll turn it over to David to do his presentation for us.
Great. That's perfect. Go for it, Betsy.
Okay, David Siders is our civic engagement coordinator. He has spent 31 years at the library, but his current role is the civic engagement coordinator in the strategy division, and he strategically plans how the library provides new resources on community needs assessment, and he's going to tell us how he goes all about that.
Hey, David.
Where are you,
You
David?
there? Okay.
Shall I go? I'm here. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
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 Thank
Yes.
you, Mrs. Malakia. I'm really fortunate to be here today to share out how our library is looking at drastically changing community needs in the pandemic, as we all know, and how we're pivoting to find new and innovative ways to reach community members with equity across the county, namely in the public health area. And then I'll touch on some voter education that we did around before and around the election, and a couple of other things we're doing in terms of civic engagement. I do have a slide to share if that's possible.
Is it your map, David?
Yes. Oh,
So
great,
your
it's
map
right
is up.
there.
Yes.
Great. Let's start there. One of the things that have kept me very busy in the last couple of months is building relationships and partnerships with UC Health and the Health Collaborative, who have brought a number of agencies together across the county to provide free COVID-19 testing. Essentially, starting in early October, we planned a number of library locations to host free COVID-19 testing provided by UC Health, and the Health Collaborative provided marketing and promotion of this. And boy, did that work, because we've had great numbers, as you can see. So every Friday, we rotated strategically locations to provide free testing based on neighborhoods that may not have had testing available in that neighborhood, or other ways to find equity, for example, or equitable access to testing. So for example, Norwood, and you'll see the colored coded blue dots, the darker the blue, the more demand there was and more participation in testing. Norwood was a very helpful, advantageous location because it's on a number of bus lines. So we had multiple occasions where we tested there. And if you look in the right column, you'll see the pretty impactful numbers. At this point, we have administered more than 1,850 free COVID tests with UC Health. And you'll see our locations scattered throughout the county where we really wanted to provide equity of access as much as possible. Westwood, Norwood, Forest Park, Covedale, and Corryville, also Clifton, had some of the highest numbers of impact there. So that's an example of how we've kind of pivoted and found new ways to build relationships with community organizations and ultimately partnerships so that we're all working together as a community to reach people in new and equitable ways and really, really time efficient ways. This was funded by CARES Act money that expires December 30th, as you probably know. So we had to act quick. And I want to thank the support of my strategy office in Beth Yoke. We had to do, a lot of behind the scenes efforts to really get this going. And a big thank you to all of our branch locations, main library location, and all of our wonderful staff who were very supportive of this community effort. So that has been really a great, fun challenge, exciting challenge to roll this out. And I wanted to also point out that we have also made masks for Hamilton County Public Health. A couple of our branch library locations helped with that. And we have worked with Hawksworth Blood Center and University of Cincinnati. We started a blood donation drive back in August, kind of as a pilot with a handful of locations. And that was so successful that we're trying a second round of blood donations starting this Thursday, along with Hawksworth just issuing an emergency alert of much needed blood donations because blood donations are extremely down right now and the need is greater because of COVID-19. So our first donation drive is this Thursday, a couple of days away at Main Library, and I'm happy to say that all but one appointment has been made for that day.
What are the hours?
David, do you know what the hours are?
They are 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And there's a link to the appointment making webpage that will show available time slots. So Thursday, there aren't any walk-up opportunities. You'd have to go to that website for.
I asked that because John's doctor's appointment yesterday, the doctor told him to go give blood because he has the antibodies for COVID.
Yeah.
Well, we have multiple opportunities. I think there's one appointment left for this Thursday that I can share out with Paula and Beth, and then there are multiple opportunities, I think the third week in December. So.
Okay, just curious, okay.
Thank you. So for the sake of time, I just wanted to touch quickly on a couple of other things. Those are very exciting, innovative things that we're doing to connect community and work with community partners on the public health front. We collaborated and partnered with the new Greater Cincinnati Voter Collaborative in midsummer through this voter election season to build great voter education resources on our website. We also we work with the League of Women Voters in addition to the Greater Cincinnati Voter Collaborative. And I want to thank our marketing team who created a robust website that had all kinds of information to break down barriers on misconceptions about eligibility to vote, timelines of when to vote, don't miss the deadline for registration, how mail-in voting was safe, and all the opportunities for people to learn more about their eligibility to vote.
I'd like to, if you don't mind, excuse me, this is Nadine Allen, and I just want to give really personally express our gratitude because I'm a member of that group, the Greater Cincinnati Collaborative, and I'm glad you spelled out what all the library has done in the area of voter registration because it was phenomenal this year.
Thank you, Judge Allen. I really appreciate hearing that. And we plan to continue.
Correct.
We've already been talking about further actions, along the way this year and in the future. So it's a terrific collaborative partnership that, as you know, came together very quickly, but very powerfully
Yes.
and impactfully. So we will continue on that. I don't think I have much time left, but just a couple of other things going on. I am the library liaison with 3CDC for downtown and over the Rhine, and we work with Cincinnati Police to hold regular meetings to ensure the best safety and quality of life downtown and over the Rhine. And I think that I do want to touch on Cincinnati Works. Thank you for sharing that comment. I work on workforce development efforts for our library system. And in a nutshell, I think a great example of that is our longer term partnership with Cincinnati Works, but how we have been required to find new ways to meet their needs and their members' needs. Their buildings are confined and they did not have enough space to physically distance their members, their new members, their ongoing programs. So we carved out some safe space at some of our locations for them to have continuity with their programs because they didn't want their members to slow down in their education and job coaching and counseling processes that they're so well known for. So we helped them provide continuity, and we innovated there also by creating on a couple of occasions mobile laptop labs where we went out in the community with them, where they gathered other employers and community partners to create virtual hiring fairs so that they could be COVID safe, physically distanced, but meet people where they are. On many occasions, these were furloughed folks or lost their jobs. So we met quickly or organized that effort very quickly as well. So I think that might wrap up what I want to say. Thank you again for this time. Are there any questions about anything I've said?
Thank you very much.
David, yeah, it's Monica Conan. I just wanted to say thank you, and it's quite clear why Leslie sent in her public comment complimenting the development of the relationship between the library and Cincinnati Works, and the other public health projects are great, as well as the voter education project. So thank you so much. We really appreciate your good work.
Thank you. I appreciate hearing that.
Thank you. Okay, the library is having an awareness campaign that was kicked off in October and running on Cincinnati Bell, Spectrum, Cable, and YouTube. It's intended to increase awareness about the services that the library has. And the campaign just had 1.2 million impressions for the 6-week run. And then through November 18th, it was 1.3 million impressions. An additional 500,000 impressions are expected over the time. Through November 12th, the spot has run 372 times. We've also had 1.3 million digital impressions on YouTube. So this is outperforming even the overall video completion rates. And this campaign is running through Thursday. And we will rerun an accuracy survey prior to the campaign start at the end and compare the results. Community engagement, David just covered that, and with the map that we just saw, the master plan implementation moves forward, and so we're having some community engagements for that. We're presenting for each of the 5 planning zones, posted online and publicly available. And then this Thursday, December 10th, from 6:30 to 7:30, it'll be for those who have questions about the MFP and want more details. And where will that be held?
We'll do it virtually.
Virtually, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and in early 2021, we're going to schedule community forums for Deer Park and downtown Maine. The food distribution, which has been a problem not only here, but around the country. And To address this issue, our library has partnered with local organizations to give food and food security to Ohio, which has a problem about 18% that need food. We give free meals and snacks for kids up to 18, which is funded by a federal program. We have La Soup, a community nonprofit, which has been distributing meals, and that's funded by CARES funds that La Soup received. And then through all these efforts, we've distributed 112,000 plus meals and snacks in October and November. The customer experience framework, so we can provide excellent service. There are 2 in-house project teams. Number 1 is focused on downtown Main Library, and a summary is being completed in collaboration with Group 4. Number 2 is for a team more broadly focused across the whole library system, and that's experience is viewed more holistic, including all the customer touch points. And as we mentioned, the customer experience framework brings together a series of internal and external reference points. And that, of course, that framework will lay the foundations for developing a full customer experience model. So the team at the moment is finalizing a draft of the customer experience framework, which establishes the context and considerations for access and the experience and innovations of all kinds for the library. We have a list of programs that are virtual. They're right there listed. There's one tomorrow for grant proposal, and again tomorrow for high school equivalency, and on Thursday, the weekly art challenge. Again, tomorrow will be story time at the Cincinnati Observatory. And all the way through December, the Green Township Branch is providing free kindergarten readiness activities. And lastly, the youth entertainment for home holiday hangout for teens will be on Saturday from 10 to 4. And that's the end of the report. And we don't need to vote on anything.
Great
Great.
report.
Thank you very much, Betsy. Let's go to the Technology Committee report. Karen, would you deliver that report, please?
I am. I'm going to read from the screen. My iPad is not cooperating.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to let you all know. All
If
right.
you need to adjust, Karen, just yell.
Okay. The Technology Committee report from Holbrook Sample, Chief Technology and Logistics Officer, Hamilton County Preparedness. Since 2012, the library has partnered with the Hamilton County Health Department and the Hamilton County General Health District and emergency preparedness. The library has agreed to provide vehicles and drivers in the event of an emergency to transport medical countermeasures to the point of dispensing sites in the districts. In anticipation of a COVID-19 vaccine, the agreement has been activated and the library has started transporting items, including furniture, disposable sharp containers, plexiglass dividers, and boxes of hand sanitizer to a Hamilton County Health Department warehouse. BiblioCommons update. As of the end of November, almost 42,000 community members have registered for a BiblioCommons account to utilize all the features of our new online presence. We anticipate new apps to launch as soon as testing on the Android app is complete in December. Customers have shown how much they appreciate our digital offerings by using them heavily. Year over year, from January through October, digital book and magazine circulation is up 22% and 27% respectively, and digital movie circulation is up 80%. Customers appreciate many of the features of our new website, such as virtual programs that are easier to sign up for and attend. CMC partners with Library for grants to increase digital access. The library and the Cincinnati Museum Center has been awarded a highly coveted IMLS grant to develop a sustainable digital learning model for Greater Cincinnati. The CMC, who is managing the grant, will work with our staff to help close the digital divide in 5 communities: Avondale, Price Hill, St. Bernard, West End, and Westwood. This project will focus on providing digital access to pre-K through 5 students and seniors 55 plus. in the above neighborhoods by working with partners such as schools, daycares, recreation centers, senior facilities, and social service organizations. The grant helps fund a new community tech center coordinator position in the library's tech center makerspace. Outreach and CHMA collaboration. Each year, the Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority and the library participate in the national program called the Book Rich Environment. In November, we distributed 6,440 free books over 22 branches. These libraries locations were selected as they also provide a weekly meal program for UMC Ministries or La Soup. The goal of this initiative is to provide free books to children and families who may have limited access to library resources at home. CARES Hotspot Lending. The library has joined the effort to provide broadband access in underserved areas to allow community members access to workforce development opportunities, remote education, and social services. The library has procured 86 Wi-Fi hotspots with the nearly $14,000 CARES grant from the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners. This is noted in the development report for distribution. Lucky Day collections. The library has rolled out Lucky Day book collections to all locations. We're also piloting Lucky Day DVD collections at 5 locations. Lucky Day items are popular and in high demand, but cannot have holds placed on them, so they're available for checkout if you have them in hand. We lease these materials and they get 1 loan period and 1 courtesy renewal only. The limited checkout period and each customer can have 2. Make sure they're available for the next lucky customer to take home. Please accept my report.
Thank you, Karen. All right. Next up, we have our Development Committee report. Betsy, would you take care of that report for us?
Okay. Well, as we've already talked about, the library applied and received a grant through the Hamilton County CARES Act funding to support the expanded Wi-Fi access. It has also been a grateful recipient from Joseph and Susan Pickler Fund of the Greater Cincinnati Foundation and Joseph and Noel Jules Dainers. Due to the effects of the pandemic and for book sales, the development office does not anticipate, and I imagine it's probably slim to none, of funding programs from either the Friends or the Anderson Township Library Association in 2021. We're working to identify library needs and what would be different in the first half of 2021 and reviewing options for appropriate alternate funding, because as you know, the Friends do the summer reading program, which is a big chunk.
And I will say that, excuse me, Ms. Lamaki, Stacy Dennison, who is our development director, has been working, and the Friends are trying really hard to find creative ways to help us. So we'll keep you posted on that. It's not for want of trying, it's just that their operations have been so disrupted.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, the foundation's annual fundraising campaign is underway. They had a 51% participation from staff, which, considering the pandemic, it was only 4% less than last year, and that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And the foundation has been the grateful recipients for a number of gifts from the Gilman Family Fund, the Stern Family Charitable Fund, and the Scripps Howard Foundation, the Conans, the David Family Giving Fund, and James Cheng Fund. And because of the growth of its endowment, the foundation is updating its spending policy to distribute 4% annually to the library starting in January. The Friends hosted additional 3 donate days in November at Loveland, Sharonville, and Harrison, and they had 323 cars drop off books. And they worked with 100+ donors who could not participate to schedule donation drop-offs at their warehouse. The pandemic, of course, has turned everything upside down. And due to the weather, the Friends have paused operations in their garage browsable shopping area And we'll be trying to expand the shopping by appointment to other locations within the warehouse. And for this, we thank them very much because, as I said, everything's been turned upside down. And the Anderson Library Township is exploring the feasibility of scheduling a spring sale. That, I hope that can go off. And that's the end of the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Betsy, and thank you, Stacy, for all your good work there with the committee. We really appreciate it. The next couple items we have are the consent agenda items. So I'm going to ask that.
I move to accept the consent items.
Diane, I said,
Thank you, Betsy.
I second Bob Hendon.
I seconded. They
Thank
need.
you.
We have 3 seconds.
All right,
I'm gonna get fifths.
I love it. I
All
love
in
it.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you.
All right, great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this meeting, our regular meeting. So take a breath, and we are going to begin now the annual meeting of the board. So I'm calling that meeting to order. Molly, if you will do a roll call, please.
Okay, Miss Allen,
Here.
Miss Clemens.
Did we lose Nadine?
I think we
Uh,
missed. We got it. I don't see her anymore. I would go on.
Well,
Yeah.
she's here. I see her.
You do see her? Okay.
Her name, not her photo, but, okay. Mr. Hendon,
Here.
Miss Conan,
Here.
Mrs. Lamacchia,
Here.
Miss Redden.
Here.
Okay,
Great. Well, let's go ahead. Paula, if you will handle the nomination.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have the election of the officers for 2021, and I have Diane.
Yeah. Okay, this is Betsy Lamacchia. I will nominate for President Diane Cunningham-Retton, for Vice President Karen Clemens, and for Secretary Nadine Allen. And we need to vote on that. So I move that we elect those three.
And we need a
I
second.
second. It's Monica. I'm seconding.
Miss Allen,
Aye.
Miss Clemens,
Aye.
Mr. Hendon,
Aye.
Miss Conan,
Aye.
Mrs. Lamacchia,
Aye.
Miss Redden.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, the rest of the report here is the committee assignments. We have our standing committee assignments, and everyone can take a look at those. Those are available for you to look at. I've talked to all the trustees. I appreciate everybody's willingness to serve and welcome our new officers for next year.
Congratulations, everyone.
Well, thank you. I'm grateful
Thank
and happy to receive it and accept it. Thank you.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Right.
All right.
Next is human
So-
resources.
Paula, for the report of the Human Resources Committee is Nadine, would you like to take that?
Oh, there's another one. Okay. Oh, yeah, we do have a very important report today. I'm proud to present it. So the Human Services Resources Committee met virtually on December 2nd. Committee Chair Nadine Allen and committee members Elizabeth Lamacchia and Karen Clemens, as well as board members Monica Conan, Diane Redden were in attendance. Staff members Paula Brem-Heger, Holbrook Sample, and Kyla Harden were also in attendance. It is the recommendation of the committee that the board take the following action: appointment of fiscal officer and deputy fiscal officer, appointment and salary of the Eva Jane Romaine Coombe director. 1, appoint Molly DeFosse, Chief Finance and Financial Officer. As this, I wonder if someone might need to turn off their, go on mute. Okay. Molly DeFosse, DeFosse, Chief Finance and Facilities Officer as Fiscal Officer. The board approved a stipend of $5,000 annually for the duties of the Fiscal Officer for Mrs. DeFosse. Appoint Alicia Sanders, Senior Financial Analyst as Deputy Fiscal Officer. Ms. Sanders receives no additional compensation for serving in this capacity. Continue the appointment of Paula Bremheger as Eva Jane Romaine, cum Director, at the reinstated annual base salary as $237,949.40 for 2021. And I'm sure I need, I move that we accept these recommendations.
Second.
Okay, Miss Allen,
Aye.
Miss Clemens. Okay, I'll come back. Mr. Hendon,
Aye.
Ms. Conan,
Aye.
Mrs. Lamacchia,
Aye.
Miss Redden.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, Molly, I think you're gonna do the, next, the
Sure,
annual
thanks.
appropriations.
Okay. Sounds good. So the CARES Act Grant Fund, in September 2020, the board approved creation of the CARES Act Grant Fund for the purpose of receiving money for the CARES Act Coronavirus Relief Fund, Public Libraries Grant, and paying the associated expenses in accordance with the guidelines provided by the Ohio Office Budget and Management. The December 2020 report includes the expansion for the use of the CARES Act Grant Fund for the grant from Hamilton County for purchasing of supporting Wi-Fi hotspots. We recently, as has been noted in other reports, received CARES Act Grant Fund as a subrecipient for a grant with the Cincinnati Museum Center to support technology access in several communities. We are requesting approval to use the CARES Act Grant Fund for this purpose in 2021. The annual appropriation resolution and estimated resources for 2021, the Ohio Department of Taxation has set our 2021 Public Library Fund receipts at $37,173,960. I'm not going to read that. And Hamilton County has estimated property tax receipts of $37,717,596. Using these amounts, total general fund resources are estimated at $76,654,000 as follows. And there is a table indicating the total resources. Table also has the operating contingency and the unencumbered balance that was noted in a previous report. It is recommended that the 2021 general appropriation spending authority be set at $87,204,000, distributed by account as follows. Overall, the budget is designed with flexibility in mind, given the uncertainty of the timing of returning to pre-pandemic service levels and the budget timeline at the state level. Overall, the 2021 budget includes merit increases based on performance, with the implementation timeline to be determined mid-year, funding to supplement Employee Ohio Library Council dues up to 50% of the membership cost up to $45 per employee, and support for current operations and planned initiatives. Although the budget does result in a deficit, it is in line with the projected ending fund balance of $9.95 million at 12/31/2021 that was included in the facility master plan timeline of capital transfers. So there's a table right there with the general fund appropriations. In addition, the general fund estimated resources and appropriations have been prepared for special revenue, capital, and permanent trust funds. These recommendations plus unencumbered carry forward balances for all funds are detailed in Exhibit A and summarized below. The trust fund principals, a total of $6,771,449, are excluded from the permanent fund balances. There's a table there with the estimated available balance starting the year, and then the resources and appropriations. The special revenue and permanent fund appropriations include routine spending as well as appropriations from the Armstrong Fund to be used as necessary and working towards supporting staff morale, supporting the community engagement process, both which may include the purchase of refreshments, and to supplement the tuition assistance plan. It is recommended that the board adopt a resolution to provide for the expenditure during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021. The resources of the library be appropriated at the funds and object levels outlined in Exhibit A. Upon approval by the board, this information will be submitted to the Hamilton County Budget Commission as the library's 2021 annual appropriation resolution and certificate of sources available for expenditure.
So moved to accept.
Okay.
Who's seconding?
Somebody second. I heard it.
Nadine,
Okay.
second.
Ms. Allen,
Aye.
Ms. Clements. I know she's there.
I'm going to forget.
She's there. She just-
Yeah, she's there. We just can't hear her.
Yeah.
Mr. Hendon,
Aye.
Ms. Conan,
Aye.
Mrs. Lamakia,
Aye.
Ms. Redden.
Aye.
Okay. Then there's one more report. Paula, do you want me to do that one?
Yeah, sure. That's the annual responsibilities, right, Molly?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
So section 337532 of the Ohio Revised Code requires a library fiscal officer to execute a bond in the amount and with the surety to be approved by the board, payable to the board in condition for the faithful performance of the official duties required. In accordance with this statute, we are requesting approval to execute two public official bonds in the name of Molly DeFosse, fiscal officer, and Alicia Sanders, fiscal officer, financial analyst, deputy fiscal officer. That's a lot. Each in the amount of $500,000 for terms commencing December 31st, 2020 and ending December 31st, 2021. In addition, the annual change of officers of the board and the annual appointment of the fiscal officer requires notification to our banking service providers. In addition, they require a resolution of the board assigning the authority for financial transactions. It's requested that the board adopt the attached Exhibit A resolution, which is based on the following provisions of the Ohio Revised Code. ORC 337532, the board shall elect a fiscal officer who shall serve for a term of 1 year. ORC 337536 states the board may appoint a deputy fiscal officer. I'm not going to read all of this detail because it hasn't changed, but 3375 also specifies what's in the resolution, and 337536 states about the fiscal officer shall be the treasurer of library funds. And 337538 details the duties related to the accepting of the funds. Our bankers also need to know who is authorized to enter into contracts and agreements as previously established. The attached resolution designates that the fiscal officer and the president or vice president are jointly authorized. Finally, the proposed resolution states that the Eva J. Romaine-Coombe director or the fiscal officer is authorized to sell donated stock. So I need a motion and a second.
I move to accept.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Allen,
Aye.
Ms. Clements,
Aye.
Mr. Hendon,
Aye.
Ms. Conan,
Aye.
Mrs. Lamakia,
Aye.
Ms. Redden.
Aye.
Okay. I think that's all we have in that
Thank you,
report.
Molly.
You're welcome.
So that concludes our meeting, our annual meeting. So I'm going to end that meeting, and we're going to move on to the meeting of the member of the Library Foundation. So let's get started there. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Molly, will you do the roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Allen,
Aye.
Ms. Clements,
Yes.
Mr. Hendon,
Aye. Oh,
Ms.
here.
Conan, Ms. Conan,
Here. Here.
Mrs. Lamakia,
Here.
Ms. Redden.
Here.
All right. Paula, would you like to take the lead on this motion for us?
Absolutely. This is a pretty brief report. We have the approval of the minutes, which are attached. We also have, as the primary part of this report, the election of the directors. The following candidates, thanks in advance to all of them, have indicated their willingness to be re-elected as director of the Library Foundation and are presented here for election to its term expiring January 2023. You can see this impressive list of folks. Oh, I'm sorry, we're going to get an announcement. Let me just take a quick pause. Okay, thank you. So we have this impressive list, and I would like to ask for your indulgence in just noting them because it's a great time to say thank you. Jeanette Altino, Jim Brunn, Matt Davis, Dan McKenna, Laura Mitchell, Laura Randall Tuppy, Diane Pettenham-Redden, Scott Richards, Kate Rippey, Casey Rushman, Noah Stern, and Tom Sunderman. So that is our re-election slate, and then we have the slate for elections. So I will briefly read their names. Ryan Adcock, the Executive Director of Cradle of Cincinnati. Leanne Bismeyer, Councilperson, City of Montgomery. Stephanie Crockett, Designer, Elevert Design Group. Christy Coons, Chief of Staff to the COO and VP of Operations and Community Relations, UC Health. Kristen Smitherman Voltaire, Community and Citizenship Manager, Turner Construction Company. So that is our presentation for the election, re-election, as well as those folks that are I've listed here. So I think we need a motion.
I'll move to accept.
I second.
Okay, it can be an all in favor. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes the meeting of the member. We are now going to move into the meeting of the Library Records Commission. I'd like to call that meeting to order, please.
Okay.
Molly?
Miss Allen,
Here.
Miss Clemens,
Here.
Mr. Hendon,
Here.
Miss Conan,
Here.
Mrs. Lamacchia,
Here.
Miss Redden.
Here.
Paula, you want me to do this?
Yes, thank you, Molly.
We will be real quick because this is real quick. There's two things. There's the minutes from, well, I see a typo on there. It's actually December 11th, or I think it was the 10th, actually.
Yeah, I think it was the 10th, Molly.
Yeah, so we're going to go with December 10th, and I'll make that modification. The minutes from the previous year's meeting where no action was taken. And then this year where we are, there's right now no changes and there are no donation or gift records to report for disposal. So I have a motion. Do we have a motion to accept both items?
I accept. I move to accept.
Okay. Mr. Hendon, you seconding?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I think that is it.
All right. Well, thank you, Molly, and thank you, everyone, for your
Thank
participation in these meetings today. It is a busy time of year, and certainly appreciate everybody's time. I'm going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting and wish you all a happy holiday and hope that I'll see you sometime soon in person.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.